I mean, your recent videos, I've noticed because you're using an amp and a speaker, there's I hear more intensity in there and more intent as well. So, like, there were a few sort of recent intro jams, and people have commented as well. So, wow, that's cool. And I can hear, and I'm thinking, yeah, you're hearing something, and it's coming back to you with that sort of speaker sound, that knock, and then it takes you somewhere else, and you think, oh, I'll do this. So, I know that's a bit of a tangent to go off, but I'm really liking that you're using speakers.
Oh, nice. It's the only way to do the amp videos justice too, obviously. The two notes is cool and it does a great job, but it doesn't have that feel in the room. Yeah. Especially the clean tones. You can't beat having a loud clean channel. It feels great to play. It really does. It's like that Bassbreaker was another question I had. Did I buy it? And I didn't, but I'm so close to still wanting it.
Yeah.
Because it gave me that feeling of, some of those videos, one take.
Yeah,
that's it. I'm like, that was easy. It sounds so good.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and the response there,
great tone can do that to you. You just think, wow, it's just there in spades, and it's real. And look, I've got a Line 6 Helix, and I just have not been able to get a really great clean tone out of it. A clean tone that makes you want to play, that make you sort of feel the body of the note and the attack and all that sort of stuff. I'm just a dinosaur as far as I love the sound of amps and speakers and all that sort of stuff. And look, I've got great quality IRs in it too, all the Celestion IRs, the G12 65 pack, and they sound great. Well, they sound so much better than what's in the Helix.
Yeah.
But I'm digging what you've been doing lately with a real amp and real speakers. And
thanks. I appreciate that. It's a case of volume. It really is, because I think that's the problem maybe with the Helix. You might be using it with headphones or through a small amp, and you're not getting that sound that you used to. But I'm sure if you plugged into a great PA system, it might give you something. But then you're still loud, So
that's right. Look, it does sort of the semi-dirty and the really dirty sounds are pretty good, but I think it's hard to get that beautiful Fender clean sound, and the Bassbreaker just had that straight there. Like, I was like a few other people who chimed in. I thought the Bassbreaker won the shootout against your GSL-40.
I really wanted to talk about that as well, because people preferred the brighter sound over the Marshall, which was darker, but it was darker because the speaker choice made the amp less bright, and that's what I went for.
Yeah.
I go for a good live sound.
Yeah.
I don't want to just have a really bright amp that's going to kill everybody when I play live. I had that with the Marshall. Unless I got it to its sweet spot, it was always too bright, even with the treble down. And it sounded great loud. Like, it ended up losing a bit of top end once you cranked it.
Yeah.
But the sound that is a lot easier for me to get a tone that's not going to kill everybody with that blizzard of nails. My live sound's sorted. I don't think I need to go back to the V-type speaker. I don't know if you think I do or not, but I felt like the Bassbreaker sounded great, but if I was to put the stock speaker back in mine, it would be easily as bright.
Yeah.
But that's just at home. Like, if I was to play that tone out, people would be like, man, the top end's probably killing me.
Yeah.
I was really shocked, actually. It sounded the way that it did, but I didn't dislike the Marshall. I liked its fat sort of overtone and not having that sort of shrilly top end. But I'm more of a Fender amp guy than I am a Marshall amp guy, and that's what I was going for. I wanted a drive channel on a Marshall that reminded me of a Fender, so I could use it without pedals. I know that's sort of counterintuitive or whatever, but I really love the fact it's got a sort of Fender-y vibe now, putting that American speaker in there. So I don't know. That Bassbreaker rocks. It does. Really does.
I can easily see you having a 2-amp rig, mate. Fender and Marshall, just like Stevie Ray. Stevie Ray had Vibroverbs and big Marshall Major, 200 watt. So
Stevie Ray could afford to buy all that or get it given to him or whatever. I don't feel like I felt like the difference actually in the room wasn't that apparent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's what it came down to. I felt like they were both doing a very similar thing tone-wise, except the speaker made the other amp so much brighter.
Because what speaker was in the Fender?
It was a V-type solution as well. Same one that would be in the Marshall stock, but I didn't want to have to the back of the Marshall's a pain, so I didn't want to have to pull those 15 screws out of the back again because the threading's starting to go. So I didn't want to do that. But if you look back at the original videos on YouTube and my original live videos, that amp is so much brighter. And I remember a few times when I went to that Tonka speaker. Remember
that's
that?
right.
For that one gig we did that live thing.
Yeah.
And to me, that was too bright. It was too loud, and it was a heavy speaker, but it had too much top end. And I thought, I might as well just go back to the stock speaker if I want to be that bright. It sounded maybe better than the stock speaker in a punchier way, but it still wasn't my sound. I was still wanting a less bright sound just so I could dial in more tops if I need to. But I know it's probably like lost the character of the Marshall slightly, but it's the sound that I like. It's almost like my Fender amp with my overdrive pedal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Because what do you have the presence on the Marshall set at?
It was fairly... look, I can't remember at the moment, but it depends on the room how I usually set that up. But
okay.
I usually have the resonance one down, and the presence might be anywhere from 9 to about 12 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've started using the bright switch a lot on my Fender amps too now.
Ah,
I'm enjoying. You mentioned that one time. I thought that was a great trick.
Yeah. Now that's a Pete Thorne thing. He's I always used to ignore the bright switch, but it can be quite useful for that real nice zingy sound. No, it's cool.
And it's funny going back to the Fender now. I'm hearing it isn't anywhere near as bright as my Marshall with the darker voiced kind of speaker. It has a very different sound again. So I'm still, enjoying that sort of sound. But the bright switch works.
Folks, just keep the pressure on, Shane. Just keep saying, "Come on, have you bought that amp already? Come on, get there." 2 amp rig, that will be wicked.
Man.
Then you wouldn't have to do arm day at the gym because carrying those things
I just have to get lower back surgery at some point.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
Again.
Yeah.
No. But, yeah, I wonder. Look, if the stars align, I might get it. But it's still in the back of my mind, or not even at the back. It's closer to the front. Yeah. I'm still thinking about it. Every day I see comments about it. Have you bought it? That's one of the questions. Have I got it?
It did sound really good. And like,
it's inspiring to play.
We've only had to wait about 40 years for Fender to make a drive channel on an amp that we could use. Although having said that, I remember the 60-watt Supersonic that you had.
Oh, that was great.
That was a corker. And they don't make that anymore.
No, there's one new one from that range up at a shop in Melbourne.
Is there?
Yeah. 5 stars. Saw it just the other day.
Oh.
Yeah, I went out there and had a look.
With that great graphic on it, though? Not the crappy Supersonic?
No, it's the crappy design, but it's the newer model.
Right. 60 watts.
Yeah. They're loaded with a vintage 30. The reason I sold that was because my back was in really bad shape. I had those disc bulge things or whatever they were called, and I remember getting it out of the car, and that was it. It was like my legs gave out, and I was like, you know what?
It was murder.
I don't have those problems anymore, though.
No.
Thankfully. But that amp had probably the best drive channel from a Fender amp. There was one called a Machete that a lot of people are messaging me about. Do you remember that? They did that for a short amount of time. I'm like, I don't think I ever played one.
Yeah, no, I did. And I think it's called a Machete because it... It belongs in a cane field.
Oh, yeah. It's terrible. Was it a shredder amp?
Yeah,
okay.
It was. And it had this sort of ultra-modern look and whatnot, but it just sounded like a whole bunch of blowflies in a bottle.
Yeah.
No, it sounded terrible. Like the I had a Pro Sonic back in the day, Fender Pro Sonic, and it was Fender's first foray into cascaded gain. There were 2 gain controls in the drive channel.
Yeah, wow.
You could run one into the other. Sort of like, the Mesa Boogie kind of thing. But it sounded so bad. It just sounded awful. But the clean channel was great, so I used it for years because it had a valve rectifier, and you just turn it up and get that really great Fender clean sound that cracks up a bit and whatnot. But, so Fender and drive channels, it's been a long time coming, but that Bassbreaker sounded fantastic. I can't wait to get my hands on it and see if I can blow it up.
It probably sounds so great because of the valve configuration in it as well. It's something a little different,
It's EL84s, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just got a nice... It's just got a bright sound, but it's still got way more low end than like my old Vox would have had. It's just it's a really cool sound. The speaker they've chosen, it doesn't feel half-assed. It might be because they might have had 1,000 of those things sitting in every room and wherever the factory, whatever. But it's a great choice. Like you don't really need to swap that out. Yeah. And I always think about that with an amp. How great does it sound straight away? Do I like it enough? Yeah. Okay. And then I don't know.
Well, those speakers do change as you break them in too. They get more mellow.
Thanks for watching the In the Blues podcast. Subscribe for more episodes.